Okay, I think we'll make a start anyway. Well, good afternoon and welcome to this webinar, part of the Grow My SME program, funded by the ERDF and Humber Business Growth. Today, we're going to be looking at driving traffic to a website, so effective paid advertising. Now, obviously, as we go through this today, this is one of my areas of expertise, and I've tried to condense down into 3 tools where we do paid advertising and give you hopefully some tips if you are doing paid advertising that you can go and look at, but also if you're looking to start paid advertising, things you should be putting in place. Okay, so let's get started. It's great to have you here. Let's look at what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to start off by looking at what paid advertising is, just a general view, talk about customer journey and understanding how important the customer is in this activity. Then we're going to look at search advertising, so advertising through search engines and also social advertising through the social channels. And then we'll finish off at the end talking a bit about remarketing and how in today's marketplace, from a marketing perspective, how we use data, how we use the information that comes out of paid, driving traffic into parts of websites, and use that to then target and follow more customers through the various paid channels. As we do go through, obviously the Q&A is open. I've got the chat tool running here. And there will be various polls as we go through, just so I can get an understanding of where you will sit in your journey. If you have a question, you can raise your hand and ask that way, and we will take questions at the end. So hopefully that's okay with all of you. So let's keep going. Okay, we'll start with a poll. I'm going to launch this in. Okay, very simple, easy one to get you going. Okay, have you used paid advertising channels? And the second one, how was your experience on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being amazing and you got great results. Obviously, this is an area where people have mixed feelings, where they've tried it in the past and it's ended up costing them a lot of money. Give the last few of you a couple of minutes to answer. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this poll and share the results back to all of you. Okay, so obviously we've got one person here who hasn't done any so far, and then we've got a mixed response. Now, from my perspective, I would say, okay, it's in the middle. There's definitely opportunity to improve the paid advertising that you may have done or an agency has done for you. But obviously, key to making sure paid channels work is understanding some of the principles behind them. So how can I improve this? What is going wrong? What are the things I'm looking for? And I will try and show you through some of my accounts, some of the campaigns that I'm running for some of my clients. Okay, so what is paid advertising? Well, paid advertising, we are buying spots, whether it's in search engines in the position or whether it's into your timeline on Instagram or Facebook. I am paying for a slot to put to my ad. Okay, if we go into display advertising, we're choosing websites that we would like our ads to appear on because sorry, Isabel, I've just seen your question come up when it threw me. Yes, I get that, not a problem. It won't let you submit without choosing the scale. That's good. So display advertising, I'm picking websites where I want my ads to appear, which means I need to be identifying websites that match my customer. And the amount we bid is dependent on various different factors. Okay, the amount of people that respond, who else is in the auction at exactly the same time. Okay, paid advertising works. It works very effectively. Why do we bother with paid advertising? Well, okay, SEO, which is a technique, search engine optimization, that a lot of you have probably heard about. You may even have delved into this yourselves, or you may have paid agencies to do this for your websites. SEO is about organic search. So appearing in Google search results or Microsoft Bing search results based on the content that you are placing to your website. So they are classed as organic results. Okay. Now, SEO, there's an enormous drop in organic reach, both in search channels like Google and Microsoft Bing, or even on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. There is a drop in the reach we can organically gain. Organic means free. You're not paying for position. Okay, so why? Because of the drop in organic reach, there's now a major push to get people to pay for traffic. It gives us quick results. You can run a paid advertising campaign on Google search and appear at the top of the page without much knowledge. It would be down to how much you're willing to spend to appear there. Why do we do paid advertising? It's very measurable. We can see what we spend and we can measure the return. How many people click through if you're going just for traffic? How many people purchase products? How much did I spend to get that traffic? So paid advertising with the tools available through Google Analytics, extremely useful in measuring the return that comes back. Paid advertising is also very targeted, which we'll come on to later. Highly focused. I can pick specific genders in specific age groups that like specific websites or have an interest in specific areas of product. And it's multi-platform. So if I advertise on Facebook, I can put it out to Instagram. And I can start creating campaigns and running the same campaigns across multiple platforms. So we can increase our reach quite a lot, but just remember that everything that is clicked is paid for. Okay, so if we increase our reach, we're naturally spending a lot more money. Okay, so the issues we get with paid advertising. If you don't do it right, you're like the picture. You're just burning money. Okay, and that's one of the reasons a lot of people stay away from paid, because they've done things in the past and it cost a lot of money with very little return. Now, one of the first issues is customer trust. Generally, people will tell you they typically do not click paid adverts in search results. People run specific pieces of software that stop ads from being shown onto their machines. So in the display advertising world, if we're telling our computer not to show any adverts, we don't see them. Increased costs, it's getting more expensive as more people are going to these channels to try and drive more money. Now, typically your social media advertising on Facebook and Instagram is still at a lower cost to using Google advertising platforms. Customer journey. People fail to understand where the customer is in the overall journey. And they don't send them to the correct place. When we're looking at paid advertising, we have the ability to mold the customer journey. They see an advert, they click, and they will land at a designed and specified place within our website, which means if there's nothing for them to do, we've not designed the journey correctly. So there's a lot of thinking that has to go into doing this and doing it correctly. And it is complex. There's a lot of data, there's a lot of factors that come into play in how effective these campaigns run. And it's another channel for you to grasp. You may have got your head around social media and trying to engage organically or creating content for content marketing to boost your SEO. This is another channel that has set practices we have to follow and things we need to measure in order to make it work effectively. Okay, so just to put in perspective, now a lot of people don't click ads. However, Google search, 83% of all of Google, or now Alphabet, 83% of their revenue is generated through search marketing. 98 billion of just Google search itself, 15 from YouTube advertising, before and in your videos, and display advertising, putting ads onto other people's networks. Okay, so it's big business. Google accounts for 31% of all spend globally on advertising. Facebook is second in the list with 68 billion spent by companies just to pay to put adverts in front of people. Facebook dominates social ad spend, and research has shown that Twitter ads, if it's during a live event, Twitter ads are 11% more effective than any advertising on TV channel. Okay, paid advertising is here to stay, probably because of the drop in organic reach that all of the platforms have put in place, meaning if we want to get in front of customers, we have to pay to target them and market to them. Okay, so the first thing to make sure your ads work is to understand the customer. If you don't know what your customer looks like, if you don't know the context in which you're speaking to them, if you're not understanding their interests and the type of things they like and the type of websites they go to, where they sit, the channels they use, your advertising will be very expensive. Now, understanding the customer is key to any type of marketing activity, whether we're paying for the traffic or we're just going for it organically or sending out email. So we have to understand who they are, because they will all behave differently, which means the message, the text, the keywords they're typing in that we're trying to match against become all important. So if I was advertising to an 18 to 25-year-old male, I would create a completely different advert for them than I would for an 18 to 25-year-old female. But the first thing I need to know is my customer 18 to 25 years of age and male? And that comes from research. That comes from using some of the tools I will show you later to understand what do I believe my target customer is? What is my data showing me? And then using that to drive out advertising. So just a quick question to all of you. Have you identified and documented your key customers? Launch the poll if you'd like to take your time to answer that. Do you know who they are? Do you know what they like to do? Do you know the type of websites they go to? Just let a couple of you finish. Okay. Okay, I'm going to end that poll. And share the results. So we've got 2 of you have, 1 of you is a no, and 2 of you are maybes. Probably maybes, because what you've probably done is, if I was to sit in front of you and ask you the question, you'd probably be able to give me the answer. But having documented it, that may be another step you need to take. Okay, so let's carry on. So the customer is all important. Now, where does paid advertising sit? So this is the recognized diagram for customer journeys, especially when we are into digital. So we have awareness, people get aware of your product, they then go and search, they get answers, they do a bit more research around social media, and then they convert, and then afterwards it's all about the love and the going back and getting these people to say how much they like your product to drive other users. Now, paid advertising fits across all of this. If I'm looking at purchase here, I'm probably looking more at using a shopping channel. So I'm doing Google paid shopping. Search results, because people are finding. Okay, they're going and asking questions. When they ask the question, I'm putting in text-based ads to answer their questions. All of the display advertising and social advertising sits very much along the front. It's awareness. I'm trying to drop an advert in front of you to get you to have an interesting click. When you're on somebody's website or you're in a social media tool, you're not necessarily looking for answers to your questions. You're not looking for products you want to purchase. So the journey is different. This has to grab your attention when I'm here. As we move closer, you have a better understanding of what you're looking for. So we use the channels, the different paid channels in different places. Now, is paid effective? Paid search is 19% excellent, 48 good, 26 average. Okay, paid search works if we understand the customer and we know where it's going to go. Now, one of the key steps to making paid work is planning. What is the objective of your campaign? Is your campaign to just drive traffic? Because if it's just to drive traffic, we can measure that easily on effectiveness because we see the amount of traffic reaching the website increase. Is it a conversion? Is it action-based? So I'm going to run a campaign and the end goal is somebody's going to buy, or they're going to download a document, or they're going to sign up to my newsletter. Or am I into an awareness stage where I just need my brand to be visible? I need people to know about me. Now, all of this helps us understand the type of traffic we're trying to get. So we have 2 acronyms we use in paid: cost per click. Every time the ad is clicked, I pay. And cost per impression. Every time I have 1,000 impressions, I pay a certain amount of money. Now, this lends itself to traffic and conversion objectives. Cost per mil lends itself to awareness-based campaigns. Okay, so understanding your primary objective, why am I running this ad, will help you then, which route do I take? So if we were in Google search campaigns, Google search campaigns are cost per click. Google display is cost per impression. Facebook, again, operates both methods. You can have a cost per click Facebook or Instagram campaign, or you can have a cost per mil brand awareness campaign in Facebook. Okay, so setting them up correctly to match your objective. Okay, we're going to now spend some time looking into Google search or Bing search advertising. Now, as platforms, both of them perform. Don't rule out Bing with the idea that not a lot of people use Bing. If your customer is not technology savvy, on their Windows machine by default, Bing is the default browser. And some people will not know how to change it to Google. So when they go to search the internet, they are naturally going to be in Bing because they don't know how to change it. Now, Bing have a wonderful tool in their search advertising platform, where if I have a Google account, I can click a button and bring in all of my Google ads without having to recreate them. So it's worth looking at. So don't neglect Bing as a search engine. If your customer is not tech savvy, typically older, they are more likely using Bing as their search engine than Google. Okay, so what we're going to talk about now works in Bing's platform as well. It's just easier to show you and talk about it through Google. Okay, so Google search advertising. So just a quick poll, just to find out who is using this. Okay, and this is particularly advertising into the search engine now. Okay, so we have two types of advertising into search engines on Google. We have search, which is text ads, and we have shopping ads, which is from your e-commerce store. So you want to see if anybody is using any of these. Okay, is everybody there? Okay, so obviously we've got a mix, 2 and 3 on the ads for search, and we've got 1 and 4 on shopping. Now, obviously, if I don't know the types of businesses I've got on the call, if you have answered no for Google Shopping and you have an e-commerce website or you have a product that you can sell, you are missing an opportunity with not exploiting Google Shopping. And we'll come on to why later. Okay, so just so you can see what the results were. Okay, let me just move that across. Okay, so this is a capture of search results. Okay, all the ones in blue are what we class as organic. They are organic results. They are all driven through SEO principles and Google My Business accounts. Okay, so when we talk about paid advertising in Google and Bing, we're talking about text ads, top left. We're talking about shopping ads. They're all done through AdWords or Google Ads, as it's now called. These are textual. These are image price based. Now, here is a text-based ad. And I want you to give me your answer. Okay. How much has Jellyfish, the top ad, paid in order to be #1 in Google search? can see some of you are thinking about it. Okay, just get the last one. Okay, all right. Okay, I'm going to end that poll and share the results. They are quite interesting. Okay, so I put no idea in because obviously if you don't understand how paid advertising works, that would be your choice. If you think it's based on who's going to pay the most, I'd come up. In reality, the correct answer for them appearing at the top of Google is nothing. Okay. Now the reason being is to appear costs nothing. If I click, I pay. Now I don't know without going and looking how much the keyword phrase costs per click. But in order to appear top, they have shown a willingness to pay if somebody clicks. So what does that mean to us? We can display and not have any charge, because we could display free, we could display number 4 and nobody clicks. Okay, so paid advertising is a good way of checking what keywords people are typing. Okay, because you are not physically paying unless somebody clicks. Now, why do we do search ads? Well, search ads are text-based. We can't put pictures into Google's search results and advertise on them using search ads, okay? Which means the message has to have clear value and a call to action, the why, the what. If I drop back, okay, Google Ads training, attend one of our courses from the content of your own home or anywhere you can log on. Convenient, interactive, book your course online, okay? So clear call to action, book your course. The value, comfort of your own home, anywhere you can log on, it's convenient, it's interactive. Okay, so they're crafting this ad. Okay, displays by keyword match. So a search-based ad in Google shows by how we match against what's being typed. So on this particular one, I typed Google AdWords course. So Jellyfish, Dignius, CIM, they are matching against this phrase. Exactly the same as you would be trying to create content in search engine optimization. Here, we are creating a piece of content to show when somebody types a specific phrase. And you'll see here, Google AdWords course, we've got course is highlighted in bold, which strengthens the visual to the user. So keyword match is the user typing. Position is dependent on bid. Now, Google has a few things that govern the position in the page, and we're going to come through that in a second. So it will help you understand the things you need to do in order to make paid advertising more effective. The higher up the page you are, the better the CTR, which is the click-through rate. So people have to see your ad. If your ad is down, so it's very rarely making the first page. We usually have 4 at the top and 3 at the bottom. If it's in the bottom 3 ads, it will not get clicked that often. Typically position 1, 2, 3 are the ones that are getting clicked. Okay, now what drives them? Keyword matches. So this is one of the areas where I see a lot of people spend a lot of money and waste. So Google gives us 5 ways of matching against keywords. Broad is whatever is typed, Google will look for any of those words and bring back an ad that matches. If we use a plus and a plus, so two phrases, both with pluses in front, we're telling Google to return any ad where these two words appear in any order. Phrase matching is the two words have to appear together in the order contained in the speech marks, but we can have words either side. Exact is very focused, and negative is taking out traffic we no longer want to see. Okay, now tips. If you've got search ads currently running, check the match type. If your ads are running on what we class as broad, you're displaying for a lot of irrelevant searches. I've had a client, before we ran his campaigns, he was spending £3,000 a month displaying his ads on to visitors that would never purchase his product. So just by changing the way we match, we reduced his spend, or we had more spend available on the correct search phrases. Modified, this one gives us reach. This one is extremely focused. And if you are monitoring your campaigns correctly, the vast majority of spend should be on exact match keywords. Now, we'll show you where these reports are if you're running, or if you're going to get going, you know where they are. Phrase match gives us quite a good focus, and negatives, this is the traffic we do not want to have. So for instance, if I was selling cheap shoes, cheap ladies' shoes, I would negative out Jimmy Choo, expensive, luxury, all of these words, because I never want to display against somebody looking for a recognized designer brand. Default match is extremely broad. So the first thing is keyword matching. What is it you're telling your ads to display against? The text ad itself needs to be clear. Give a clear proposition. The ad needs to include the main keyword. So if your ad is focused on ladies' shoes, your keyword match is focused on ladies' shoes, your ad should have ladies' shoes within it. You get 3 headlines in Google Ads today. The third one doesn't always show. So the first 2 are the key ones. 2 descriptions, and we have call out text as well. Call out text is becoming extremely important. So this is where the ability I have to add additional links to my website underneath the ad. It also is the ability for me to give telephone numbers and locations underneath the ad. Because obviously on a mobile, if I see an ad, if I give a telephone number, that's a direct call to action. Okay, and this improves the quality the more of these we use. Okay, keyword planner gives us ideas. Obviously, when we're writing text, think about the person you're writing for. You should always be testing multiple versions of ads, 2 or 3 different versions against each other. Responsive ads, Google gives you the ability to give it 5 headlines, and it will pick the best headline combinations itself to display to the user. So a lot of this we can start to automate. And then obviously tips for running text ads is as many call outs as you can think of. It takes up more real estate on the screen, and it actually builds quality within the ad. So if we drop back to the example here, we have, these are call outs. So Google is pulling this out. This is a telephone number. On a mobile, that would be clickable. This one here is using a telephone number. CIM are using no call outs, which lowers the quality of their campaign. Okay, so quick poll. Here are 3 ads. Ad 1 is £2.65, ad 2 is £1.75, ad 3 is £2.45. What order do you think these would display in Google? Would it be ad 3, then ad 1, then ad 2, ad 2, ad 1, ad 3? Okay, I'm going to end that. I'm going to share the results. Okay, so 3 of you have gone 1, 3, 2. You're basing that on the cost per click, £2.65, £2.45, £1.75. And then the other 2 of you have gone for no idea. Now, logic would say 1, 3, 2 is the way it would appear. However, if that was the case, and let's say I make a mobile phone. It's like an iPhone, but it isn't an iPhone. If I was advertising on text-based ads, if I happen to appear number 1, it means Apple would just have to pay more than me to get me out of the first position, which would make it extremely, it would be, well, why do I bother advertising? So the correct answer here is we have no idea how they would display. Because in reality, ad 2 could be the top position. Because just like SEO, Google has algorithms underneath paid that look at the quality of your campaigns. And it uses that then to position the ads. The better the quality of your campaign, the cheaper, the less you pay for your clicks. So one of the things we do is we try to improve the quality of what we're showing. Now, ad campaign quality is based on 4 measures. The click-through rate has the biggest influence. So the click-through rate is how many times do I show divided by how many clicks did I get. Now, Google has specific measures where it will tell you the expected click-through rate is 10%. Your keyword is generating 12, which means you've got better quality. Okay, so this takes an enormous piece. So the higher up the page our ad is, the more visible. If we created a good ad copy, the more chance there is of it getting clicked. So click-through rate is extremely important when we start looking at our campaigns. Relevancy of the ad, so what you're typing to display to the person, and how you're matching the keywords. So is my keyword in the ad copy? Gives it a boost. Landing page experience. When somebody physically clicks, where do they land in my website? Are they landing on my homepage, which has a very, very poor experience? The best type of campaigns land on pages that have been specifically built for the user to access. Okay, how well does the user experience the page on which they're landing? And the last one, which has slowly come in, is call out extensions. So am I giving them additional links into my website? Am I giving them my location? Am I putting in products into the ad? Am I trying to enrich and enhance the user's experience by what they see in the search engine? Now, optimizing search ads, and this is worth checking if you've done this. When we create a search campaign, Google gives us the ability to run on the search network and the display network. Now, if you think back to the customer journey slide, display network is I'm on somebody else's website, which means they're not in the research or the action stage of the journey where they would be in a search engine, which means the ad needs to be different. So one of the things, the default setting in Google is to run your ads on both of these. So if you get into this, turn off display. Only ever create text ads for search for the search network. So you need to run this, you need to check match types, negative keywords, taking out the bad traffic, and obviously reviewing where your ads are showing on the page. Do I need to improve them? Now I've taken a screenshot of a campaign here. This is structured quite well. It's clear. We know this is a CRM UK campaign, and then that's split into Microsoft CRM partners, generic CRM systems, and then they've got multiple campaigns down here. We can see the keywords. So these keywords here are all exact match. So if we take this one, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, the ad will show if exactly that phrase is typed in. If somebody put UK reseller, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, this would not trigger my ad. I might have another phrase in the campaign that does, but this would not trigger my ad. We can see conversions at the website, we can see cost, and then if we go over here, I've added some additional columns in, but these are the columns to help us understand what is or isn't working. So we've got the average cost per clicks, we've got our click-through rates, okay, and then we get where are we? So impression, when I display, so for Microsoft Dynamics CRM, that keyword phrase, if I display 78% of the time, I'm at the top of the page. 19% of the time, I am the top result in Google search. So this gives me my position. These two here, search lost is rank. Search lost is rank tells me how much am I losing because of my ad copy. So these are all the things we use. If any of you are using agencies, these are the things to ask them. Based on this, how do you suggest we change our ad campaigns? Well, if you're doing it yourself, these are the metrics you need to be looking at in order to make sure you are optimized. Okay, I can see Louise you've got your hand up. I'm going to turn on your mic so you can talk if it's a question. Okay, it should be on. Hello? Trying to unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Yeah, so we use the Google Ads and the shopping, but we are struggling to get our conversion to work within Google. And I've actually been on with one of the Google representatives because they help me go through whether that's a good thing or not, because obviously they're wanting to make the most money out of us.
On your text ads, they will suggest adding lots of keywords which don't bring you any traffic. I'll just add that in there.
Yeah, so I mean, we do this. I'm not an expert at this, but I tend to get roped into a lot of the marketing, and we have just took on an agency. They're going to have a look at it for us. But we have a WooCommerce site, and we're struggling to get the conversion added in, so we can't see any conversions within our site, and I'm not sure why that is.
Okay.
So we do material handling products like ratchet straps, lifting chains, all that sort of thing. So for us, keywords for that sort of thing, you know, if somebody types in ratchet strap, there's going to be a lot of, you know, searches and clicks on it. So it's going to cost us a lot of money. So we've got to be quite canny in how we go about it, because getting the conversion at the other end, we're looking at that at the moment as well. So I suppose my question is, like, understanding this table here, that's quite interesting to me, because then that's something I can go to Blink with.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. And this is the typical thing I see in anything to do with digital marketing. As people running it, not necessarily doing the grunt work, but you're paying for it, there needs to be a level of understanding of what does the data mean, or top level, okay, what appears to be working, but it's knowing what to go and look at first. So then you can go and ask the questions of the agencies. My question to you on the conversion in your website, does Google Analytics show a conversion when somebody buys?
I don't think it does. I think that's what we've spoken to Blink about it, and I think they're going to have a look at it, but they just couldn't get the head around why it wasn't working. But our site is, because we have that many products, we seem to, the company that built it for us have added a lot of add-ins. So I think it's something to do, you know, they're all clashing against each other.
Okay.
I think it's something to do with that, because the hosting of it is due to come through again, and we would like to take it over to Blink, but he said it's not going to be as easy as just taking it straight over because of how big the site is. Okay. So I think it's something to, you know, it's something underlying in there, but like understanding this table from my point of view will help me understand what they're telling us as well, because it is a bit alien. When you're getting fed information back and they're saying, oh, well, you know, your click rate on this is good and you need to do this, that, and the other. It's like, well, when you go into Google advertising, the shopping and the AdWords, it's not user-friendly at all.
I would agree, yes.
It is not user-friendly. So when you go into it, it is just, when you look at it, you really don't know what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
It's not as simple. They need to really simplify it for people like us.
Yeah. We're going to just come on to Google Shopping in a second. But do you know if you split do you advertise on every product in Google Shopping?
No. Oh God, no, that costs us a fortune. So we're quite lucky to have a niche product in that we have UK exclusivity of it. So we have an electric strap winder for ratchet straps, which it's a Danish product, but you can only buy it from us in the UK. So that's a product that we can potentially do quite well on, and have that on there. There's a lot of competition in the products that we do. Yeah. But that one stands out, and I think we've had a look, and to be fair, we're not doing too bad on Google. When Blink did analysed it all for us and come back, they said, you know what, you've got quite a few good searches that are coming back.
Yeah.
It's just tailoring these ads so that you're not paying a lot, because I think on one of them we had something like monthly 12,500 searches a month, but it's getting the conversions at the other end. So if you're paying, we've got to make sure that our website's right and it's giving, like you say, a good user experience, or
that's the key part to it.
And it could be down to price. I mean, people could go in and look at it and think, oh well, actually they're not the cheapest, because everybody tends to use the internet for the cheapest price, but cheap isn't always good. We tend to push like the quality, because all ours are UK manufactured.
Yeah.
And we push the next day delivery because we can get them out next day. So we're putting all this stuff in, but we're just not getting the conversions, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, and I'll pick up on how the growing my SME could possibly help you at the end. And we will get some more questions when we get
brilliant. Okay. Thank you.
I'm just going to mute you again. Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. So that's like Louise has just said, I get from a business perspective, this is probably not your area. So understanding what the cons mean and understanding where they are and how to turn them on, that might be you look at some easy intro AdWords training to get an understanding of how these different tools work. And they're things that can easily be done, or specific training around your specific instances. So we're going to look at Google Shopping. So that's Google Text. So that's a text ad. In search results now, we have something called Google Shopping. Now, I alluded to this earlier. If you have a product to sell, Google Shopping is a great way to sell. Obviously, it's visual. People see the product. People then see the price. So one of the things in Google Shopping to make it effective is the bit of research around how am I priced in relation to the competition? Because some people will be driven by price. But if you've got reviews, we can enhance this with review stars, okay, which gives you a look over somebody else. Now, Google Shopping is based on a CSS, comparison shopping service. Now, this is only in Europe. If you're going to America, it doesn't have a CSS service, mainly because the EU ruling around competition in search engines. So Google Shopping is separate. It's a separate business within Google. It has to be self-funding. So there's no questions about always pushing people to my service. So you'll see in a set of Google Shopping results down here now, we get by Google, by all three, by feed options. These are CSS providers. CSS providers will tell you if you use our service, you get more spend because you don't take the 10% off that Google Shopping takes on every click. So your cost per click is 10% cheaper, but you do have to pay for the shopping service, whereas the Google one is free. It links to an e-commerce website via a tool called Google Merchant Center. Now, Google Shopping works on SEO principles. So instead of I'm matching a keyword phrase and displaying my ad, what's happening here is when you type in a keyword phrase, so electric self-winding wrench, okay, if I type that in, it takes that phrase and then it goes and looks at the product titles and descriptions you're loading with your products. And then using SEO brings out the ones that best match. So when we're optimizing for shopping, it's about getting the product features, the product title, the size, the color, the brand, material, specific things people will search for into the product title, so into this part and into the description, you'll notice here that some of these goes ... because they're longer than the screen. And there's 250 characters to play with here. So good shopping feeds have very optimized product titles, where we're bringing in multiple attributes, which typically means we're using a tool that then changes and modifies as it comes from the website into Google Merchant Center. The only keyword match we can have is negative. So taking out traffic we don't want. Okay, so there's a big difference in the prices of the shoes here with 55, 57, 59, and LK Bennett's at 195. Now, this could have been, see red leather shoes, ladies, cheap. Now, LK Bennett would not want to appear if the word cheap was put into the search phrase. So they would negative. All good campaigns, whether search or shopping, should have negative keywords, because you're spending the time looking to take out the things that don't work. And multiple feeds. So as Louise has just said, they don't advertise on shopping on all of their products because it would be too expensive. So they've taken out ones they don't want to advertise for. And we can have targeted products. So these are the ones I'm pushing, and we can give them more priority. We can have our best sellers as a feed, and we can still have all of the products so they have a chance to show, but on a very, very low click basis, cost per click. Okay, so reviewing, so that's where shopping fits. Okay, so when we're looking at Google search, we're looking at structure. Is it easy to follow? And then we start looking at ranks, CTRs, quality scores, etc. I'm going to bring in a campaign so you can see. Okay, this is on a startup business, so they're not spending a lot of money, and it's on jewelry. So this is a specific shopping campaign. So we've got two feeds here, all products and targeted products. Now the targeted products are the ones that are typically that are selling. You can see they changed and put this one in at the start of July, and yeah, it's getting impressions and it's getting clicks. Now, key things in here to look at is if I drop into keywords, the search term report shows me everything across this date range that these products showed for. Okay, so I can scroll down here and you'll notice here bracelets. So just showing for the term bracelets or the term chain. Well, chain has multiple usage. You know, these are necklace chains. They're not motorbike chains. So somebody just typed that in. So this has been excluded. So one of the key things to making sure your campaigns are optimized, and this is the same in text-based, you will have this report, is going through and finding things that you do not want to display for. Okay, so I'm just going to try and find one here. Let's say Swarovski tennis bracelet. Okay, this person here is looking for a specific brand. Okay, now the jewelry on this site is not expensive. It's not Swarovski level. Okay, it costs 23p. So what we would do here is highlight it, and we do add as a negative. If I add as a negative, I'm going to add it to the ad group, targeted products, and I don't want to add it as the whole phrase. I want to take out Swarovski. Okay, so I add it as a phrase on that. Now there's a reason I add it as a phrase and it's a single word. It means it doesn't match synonyms and plurals that are close by. So if I hit save, What I'm saying to Google now is don't show my ad if anybody types Swarovski in the search term, because I want to remove items that cost money. So if we look in here, you'll see we've got quite a lot of terms. Some are exact matched, some are singular matched, because obviously I don't want to show for chain or chains exact, but I do want to show for silver chain. Whereas if I'd phrased matched that, I would have taken out a phrase that I wanted to match for. Okay, so there's a lot of understanding. If I drop into the products and the product areas, we can see here, search absolute top. If I drop into the ad groups, okay, you'll see in here, I've got clicks, impressions, CTR, conversions, and then I've got the impression share. So when the ads display, we've got 12% of the impression share. We're losing 66% due to the rank, which means we probably could split these out into more focused. So instead of targeted products, we could have targeted necklaces, targeted bracelets, targeted cross chains, to make sure we don't lose because our rank is low. In other words, our description, text description and title of product, we could improve a lot. And what we're doing here is, I know what's being searched, which means going through this, there's a lot of people searching for children's cross necklaces or children's bracelets. So I could go through the store and add children's bracelet, children's cross chain, ideal chain for boys, ideal chain for girls, into the descriptions and into the titles to improve the SEO, which means they get pulled out of Google Shopping. Okay, so all of this is there. Keyword Planner, which we mentioned on another slide. If I do new keywords, and this, these are tools that are available. You can get access to this for free. If I put in boys bracelet and get results, this will go away and it will give me information around that single phrase. So silver bracelet for boys, high competition on Google Ads. Okay, we're looking at 19 pence. If I was to bid on that to get to the top of the page, I'm looking at 79 pence a click. So we use all of this to start understanding, are the keywords good? Are the keywords bad? Are people likely to get purchase? Have we got lots of searches? Okay, so moving on due to time. Okay, so that is Google Shopping and Google that. We then have some additional things that Google have started to bring into play. We have dynamic search ads. Now this is Google's latest thing. This is something Google are heavily pushing. So this is using artificial intelligence and machine learning to create ads to put in front of people based on what the person searches. So you're not picking keywords, you're not picking and creating ads to show to people. Google is doing all of this based off what it has in the index about your website. So when somebody here hits buy shoes, this ad is automatically generated from the website. Buy shoes, 40 to 8% discount. So it's building this message itself dynamically. This does not exist, but it's picked the best page in your website to land them on. And then it's extracting content from that website to show to the user. Okay, it's a new format. Google is very much into it. You just give them your website address and Google does the rest. The only thing from your side you have to do is remove URLs that you do not want Google to include ads on. So if I'm looking for your contact number, you don't want Google bringing up a link to your contact us page and then charging somebody to click it. So you have to be very careful with these. It's a very easy option, but I would say if you go for the easy option, you're going to spend a lot more time monitoring and cleaning it and doing all of that. Okay, but it is something Google, especially if you've got a Google account manager working with you, is likely to push you towards. We have display advertising. We've talked about it previously, briefly. Display advertising is showing an advert onto somebody else's website. They land, you're reading their content, and these ads are showing. Okay, the user is typically not in a position to engage. They are in a different place when they're looking at somebody's website than when we are using search results. Okay, so customer journey is extremely important. You can choose the website these ads display on. The cost per click is typically lower than a search ad. And if you're going for something where you want your brand out there, it's a great way of just building visibility because you display in a lot of places. Obviously, think about where you are displaying. There's been issues where people's websites, their ads have shown on websites they don't particularly want to be associated with, or a website has been sucking in ads and it's ads that it doesn't want to be associated with. They didn't realize, but somebody's captured that and shared it on social media to say, look at what they're supporting. Okay, YouTube ads, whether you like them or not, they are here. Skippable in stream ones, all different ways of getting traffic. Obviously, video is becoming extremely important. Okay, people are watching more video, especially in the B2B environment. If you put a video on a e-commerce page on a website, there's a major uplift to the purchase intent. Video works great on mobiles. It's informing, it's educating, and we can drop, people are watching videos and we have the ability to break up that watch. Now, my own personal perspective, if I'm watching a video on YouTube and it stops and an ad is shown, I can't wait for the ad to finish. I'm not taking any notice of what the ad is. I'm just waiting for the little spinny wheel to go around so I can get onto the next video section of the video. Okay, and that is, the tools give us the analytics so we can see how much video has been watched. When we get into Google Ads targeting, now I would say out of Google and Facebook advertising platforms, Facebook's targeting tool is a lot more focused. Google are slowly developing in this area. So their ads are targeted. So Google ads on search are location-based, language-based, focused on the keyword match, and also the interest and demographics. They've rolled this in. So I can now pick what you're interested in. I can pick if you are married. I can pick what type of education you had on Google text ads. Display, exactly the same. Location, language, websites, topics. You can upload keyword lists to target for display, and you can do affinity, interests, things you are interested in as part of your advertising. Okay, next, social media ads. So I'm just going to see a quick poll to see if any of you have done anything in this area. Okay, I'm just going to show that, finish with that. Okay, so we've got a mixture there. The other Might be that I didn't give you you haven't done any. And we've got obviously some LinkedIn. We've got a mix of the different platforms as I would have expected. Now, social media advertising currently is typically, there's not an option to say no. Yeah, I know, Isabel, sorry. We're seeing lower cost per clicks. Okay. Now, social media as a marketing channel is very much about engagement, very much about connection. Now, Facebook has changed over time. Facebook 2004 has gone through various things. They brought the like button in 2007. They started sorting in 2009. Prioritizing content based on the amount of time somebody spends rolled in 16. They then brought reactions in 17, which weights more than likes. So if somebody has a positive reaction or a negative reaction to your content, it's going to have a different type of influence on the organic reach of Facebook. Meaningful interactions and comments. And then 2019, they got into why am I seeing this post, giving the ability for people to say, I don't want to see these types of posts. Okay, so Facebook's algorithm over time has developed to reduce the organic reach. So you might have 1,000 people on your Facebook page. If you put a post to it organically by default, it will reach 60 people of those 1,000, 6%, which isn't a lot. And this is why the push towards paid advertising has hit every single marketing channel, because it's an opportunity for that channel to make revenue. So Facebook has gone down. Videos on Facebook have the best organic reach. Obviously, I would say if you're putting anything to Facebook to promote your business, photo as a minimum, good quality photo. Because when we scan our Facebook feeds, we typically stop on video and image content. The same in Instagram, the same in Twitter. We don't stop for just a line of text. Okay, so Facebook is ranking based off users' behavior. Okay, who's sharing the post? So these are the type of things, we need organic reach. But where we can't get it, we pay for reach. But we need people to engage. Who is engaging? Okay, Facebook's looking at all of the interactions behind. Okay, because the amount of people that like and comment and share gives Facebook a positive to this content is worth pushing. So the organic reach then increases and goes further beyond. So how do we get more organic reach? Conversations, people talking to each other. Know when your audience is typically online because you don't want them to miss it in their feed. Quality videos, so people have to click into the next stage. It shows an interaction. Okay, there's different ways of doing this. Now, from a paid perspective, Facebook ads are demographically targeted, highly focused. We have the ability to share the ad to Instagram as well. However, I would suggest the same principle as to why we don't put a text-based ad on Google into display advertising is the users on the two platforms are different. Somebody on Instagram has a different mentality to somebody in Facebook. So your message should be different. Okay, if we're going to create good Instagram and Facebook ads, okay, compelling copy, keeping it short. Okay, one thing that's becoming is people are putting in reviews as the bottom part. So they're using user-generated content to build that trust. Okay, target the right audience. We can be extremely specific on Facebook advertising. And think about the collection of data. data can help you drive. Data builds audiences. You know, social proof is extremely useful in terms of making social ads work. You know, but think about it yourself. If you were to see an ad with 100 likes and then underneath it see an ad with 1 like for roughly the same product, which one are you more likely to click? The one that has more social proof or the one that has no social proof? Okay, because we're influenced by, well, what do other people think? Now, target audiences, if you haven't done anything in Facebook, I'm going to show you this actually on Facebook, so don't worry about it. The target audience lets us see who our target audience is. It lets us look at the type of things they like. Because when we're trying to focus and target in, too wide an audience will create a poorly optimized campaign. More focused, so you're picking out different pages they like, different interests, and you're trying to target those. Now, in terms of Facebook advertising, this is a tip that you can use. Social proof is extremely important. In other words, getting likes on it first, because that will push people. When I run a real ad, I've got the social proof already. So I will run an engagement ad first, and I target countries where they're not likely to buy my product, but I want them to engage with my advert. And then Facebook gives us the ability to create ads based off previous posts, which means once I've got social proof, I can then create a traffic campaign using the ad that was here. So when it's running as a proper campaign into my targeted market, it takes all of the likes and comments from the engagement ad. So it starts with social proof. I'll show you this on the interface as to what it actually means in reality. And the thing with Facebook is test. You've got to be segmenting, you've got to be creating different messages for different audiences and trying to get them to engage, see what they like. Now, I will just get my browser. So a couple of things on Facebook advertising. First thing is, okay, find a website of a competitor. If they're on Facebook, are they doing any ads? So if we go to their Facebook page and we scroll down, this is all to do with being open, page transparency. If we hit see all, I can then go and look at any ads this company is running. If I go to the ad library, it will show me all of their ads they are running at the moment. Okay, this one here started on the 28th of July. I can look at message. So if you're struggling, go and see what other people are doing. You can do this on any Facebook page. Go to page transparency and see if they are running an ad, what type of imagery are they using, how are they doing it. Okay, because Facebook as a platform has to be open. So we can go away and do that. Now, if we look at, let me just, because this is audience insights. So audience insights lets us look at different audiences. So I'm going to get rid of the United States because we're all based in the United Kingdom. And I can actually go down to specific cities in here. I can go to postcodes as well. If I'm looking at 18 to, we can see the spread here. So let's go with, in the UK, I'm interested in 25 to 44s. 25 44-year-olds. So this is looking at an audience. Is there an audience? If I'm going with the jewelry one, I'm going to women, okay, and in here I can start adding, they have an interest in jewelry. Spell it right. Okay, and we can see the change in split, but also I get the ability to see what type of jobs do they do, their relationship, educational status, but more importantly, because you'd use this to build an audience, is I can see the type of websites this age group like and how relevant and their affinity to it. So I can start using these to build up my audience in Facebook. I can look at connections, I can go into advanced. So I could just be interested in 25 to 44s who are in a relationship or single. We can start going live events, okay? We've got new relationships. They're in the actual Facebook audience, we can target people who have a friend who has an anniversary in the next 30 days or a birthday in the next 30 days. So it's extremely powerful. Facebook is all about getting the audience size down to something that is manageable. Too wide an audience, too wide a spread. Now, when we run campaigns, to bring into perspective, the thing about the engagement, let me go to that, lifetime. Okay, the thing about engagement here, okay, so this one ran an engagement ad for feather bracelets. It ran into India, Pakistan, the Philippines and Malaysia, but it was only to get social proof. So we ended up with 1,870 engagements on the post. Each engagement cost 0.001 pence. So it cost £1.80. It ran for about 4 hours to get that much engagement. So when it went live into a campaign, it already had comments, shares, and reactions, which builds social proof. The actual campaign itself ran into North America, and we paid 61 pence per click when it ran there. Now, if we were to run this as an engagement campaign, it would cost us a lot of money into America to get that amount of engagement. And it's just a way of getting social proof before you run a physical campaign. It's a known technique within Facebook ads. Okay, so Facebook advertising, again, it's coming down to you are profiling customers. You have by far more you can profile in Facebook than what you would on Google's network. And we're starting to see the costs of Facebook advertising increase, but not to the same level as we are paying on Google. So with Facebook and Instagram, if your product base sits there, it's useful. If your product base does not sit there, don't go into advertising on a channel where you are not likely to see return. How would you know what countries to get to use social proof? I've watched a lot of videos and training on this. So typically it is India, Pakistan, Malaysia, Philippines, and the Southeast Asia type area, where it's a very, very low cost to get the social proof. And when you run, the thing you have to remember is whatever I run as an engagement ad, Isabel, has to then be exactly the same ad as I'm going to run as a traffic ad. So I can't change the text or the images, But the engagement, they're just looking at the pictures and going, I like this, I like this, I like this. So, you know, you can't, if you made a mistake on the engagement ad, it's going to be also on your live ad. Okay, once you're making an actual campaign. Good question though. So think about it. Okay, and we're going to finish off with LinkedIn. LinkedIn advertising. If you're B2B, definite. If you're in a B2B marketplace, okay, right at the start, there was a stat about 83, 84% of marketers for B2B use LinkedIn to advertise. Conversion rate is a lot better, you know, lower cost per acquisition. Cost per acquisition is how much am I spending in order to get a sale, get one customer. And it's business focused. When you start campaigns on here, brand awareness, cost per mil. So if I'm trying to build my brand, I would typically on LinkedIn go for cost per mil. I'm not looking for people clicking through. I'm looking for people seeing who I am. So very good for startups or where you're trying to hit a market. If it's consideration conversion, we're into cost per clicks because you're expecting somebody to do something. There's an action involved. Now, audiences, obviously, it's not as widespread on what you can choose as going down a Facebook route or Instagram route. However, this is more relevant to a business-to-business interaction. So I'm looking at company size, what schools they went to, company name, their job roles, and there's about 20 different attributes within the LinkedIn advertising platform you can pick from. Now, LinkedIn is very much on your audience size needs to be over a certain amount for like you're going to campaign. So you may have to widen your profile of business, but it's a very good way of putting your content straight in front of the person who is making a decision. Works effectively very well. Now, if you time it correctly, there are usually vouchers flying around the internet for LinkedIn advertising. There are definitely vouchers out there for starting Google ad campaigns where they will match X amount of money. So once you spend £100, they will match you with £100, or they will match your first month's spend with X percent. Okay, so there are ways of getting into this. The key bit is know what you're doing at the start and why and who you're doing it to. You know, because at the end of the day, with all marketing, it is a bit of cross your fingers and hope. Now, obviously, the way we typically did it, which was we'd go out and we'd just try and catch people, singular. You know, hopefully somebody bites. Today, we suck up data. All of these tools help us, you know, what search phrases, how many impressions, what's the click-through rate? If I put this keyword phrase in on Google, does it expand? If I use this picture and I make my audience this age group in Facebook, what do I see? And we're collecting the data. And the tools are collecting the data to give us the ability to optimize and build effective campaigns. Today, we go out and we suck up as much data as we can. So if we go back to this chart, we're into identifying what you do in my website. So I put an ad out. You click and you come to my website. You view a specific product, you go into a specific section of my website, you downloaded a document, okay, you added something to a cart, you purchased something. These are all audiences. And we can either retarget So Google does retargeting, Facebook does retargeting, LinkedIn does retargeting, based off actions that have happened on a website. So we have our advertising that we target to an audience. We use different things to focus those audiences in. And then when they come to our website, we capture them and say, these are people who looked at our wrench page or wrench category. And then I can go and find lookalikes, or I can retarget just to these people the exact products they looked at into their timelines. It's an extremely powerful way of marketing, and it changes how we physically do things. So if I have an audience of everybody who's purchased from me, email address, I can take those email addresses, load them into Google, load them into Facebook, load them into LinkedIn, and say, find me people who are similar to the people you recognize that have purchased from me in the past. Create me a brand new audience that I can now market my products to. And you just then start dropping it straight into their timelines on all of the social media tools. Now, we can only do this if we've got the data. And we generate the data by driving traffic into our websites. Okay? So it's not a case of go down the road and buy an email list, hoping that it's correct and it's the right type of people, and finding out that it's not been cleaned recently, so 25% of them no longer exist. So when I send my email marketing campaign out, MailChimp says this is an inaccurate list, we're getting loads of bounces, so we're turning you off. No, we're just collecting data from people accessing the website. So we can retarget based on action, where they went, what they did, how long they stayed. All of these are actionable things we can create within analytics, in AdWords audiences, in Facebook audiences. Or we can retarget based on what they purchased or they filled in forms. So we've got their email addresses. Okay, so there's lots of things we can do. I've given you, I've covered quite a lot. There is a lot more depth I could have gone into around Google Ads and the Facebook targeting and the Facebook ads. It's just to give you sort of an insight. There's definitely some tips in there for you. So, looking at using ads to drive traffic, just finished with this poll. Thank you, Louise, if you've gone. Based on this, will you be looking at using ads to drive traffic? And do you need assistance to start or optimize your current campaigns? Okay, I'm going to that and show the results. Okay, so we'll come on to this part now as we're finishing. Where next? Okay, so key takeaways from me today. Obviously, identify your customer, understand the journey, change and test your campaigns, set your budgets wisely, definitely monitor your activity, or just have very deep pockets full of lots and lots of money. Because if you don't get it correct, you're going to end up spending lots of the money that you may not have. So we'll do Q&A in a second. So what's available to you through the Humber Growth Hub? Well, business support that makes a difference. Okay, there are weekly ICT for Growth webinars going on. The next webinar is on the 7th at 9:30 in the morning. That's going to be looking at the benefits of remote working from the beach. These seminars are free. Definitely you're getting experts delivering content in a very short amount of space, but hopefully content that it inspires something for you to move forward and do something different, or engage with the program to help you do these type of things. We've got a list of seminars coming up that are all published on the website. Preserve the customer experience. So CRM, importance of effective CRM. Why should we have a customer relationship management system? What can it bring to the business? Obviously, cybersecurity, Google, Microsoft, which is best for me. So, you know, there's a whole range of these coming up. Obviously, Grow My SME, it is there to help you access to grants, investment advice, okay, growth sessions, mentoring, okay, and it's across multiple areas, okay. So they can put you in touch with supply chains, the Digital Catalyst program, how to scale up your business, how to get support for you. And it's business support that makes a difference. The people they are putting in front of you to work with you are experts in their areas of knowledge. Okay, so what can Digital Catalyst actually bring? Okay, so I'm just going to bring this up. We initially do with a benchmark where we did your digital adoption scores. Okay, and then from that we run consultancy and workshops where we help you understand where digital can make a difference in the business. Now that may be in a specific area. It could be in how can I drive traffic, how can I optimize, get the right customers, understand how to manage those customers better through CRM as well as the advertising side as well. Okay, and now that comes a digital plan. We can put you in front of the right people to help broker services, to help you to move forward in this area, and we can help you obviously give you access to technology providers that you can select from. What do we offer? I'm just bring all of these up. Okay, one-to-one support from specialists like me and people on innovation and people on CRM. Okay, all available to you through the program. Making you think differently, bringing energy into the situation, helping you recognize from our knowledge areas of opportunity. Obviously, technology adoption, helping you work more efficiently. So there are many, many areas we can assist with. What I would suggest is if you are interested, then make sure you contact Grow My SME, the Digital Catalyst team, and we can get somebody along to help. Hand-holding to get you started, help you apply for grants, it's all in there. Example projects we've done so far as a team, obviously moving and exploiting cloud, changing your technology infrastructures, e-commerce and selling online, how to do that well has been in there, making sure you're secure, online accounting systems, putting CRM tools in place. The list is endless, okay? If it's digital, Digital Catalyst can assist. Helping you overcome the challenges. So one of the areas is what technology should I use? Okay, value for money, understanding what needs to be put in place. Okay, the slides will be sent to you so you can look at these. We're looking at real and lasting outcomes. Obviously growth, you're more secure online, being more efficient, okay, attracting, retaining staff, handling your customers through a much better method. Okay, the program details are there. Grow My SME is the website. If you are interested, then please do ask questions. Okay, I have finished. Are there any questions for me? Either raise your hand or put them in the Q&A. If there are no questions, thank you for attending. And hopefully you've picked up some tips for your paid advertising path. Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Stephen. Isabel and Louise, are you still there? You still there, Louise, or are you going?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. Do you have any questions? You're the only one here now, so.
No, that's fine. I was just thinking along the lines, if, you know, in future, if we're going to do anything, if we could maybe, I know we've got the contact details here.
Yeah.
You know, just maybe ask the question, and what other courses, you know, you've got on.
There's a whole list of various bits and pieces on the website. Obviously, what I would say is, if you put something, we can follow up and do some stuff around the ads and things like that with you.
Yeah, that'd be good if you could have a look. For
doing, you know, some sort of low-level assessment of what you've got and things like that. That would be me, out the team that we've got. What's your domain?
Website? Website is www.jacksonhandling.co.uk.
So I'll show you my screen. You can see what.
Yeah.
Okay. So Jackson Handling, yeah?
Yeah.
So 465 keywords. Front rancher wheelbarrow. Position 2 in Google.
Yeah, that's what we can get. There's not a lot of so is this what people have been searching?
Well, this is a tool called SEMrush.
Right.
So this is from their database. What you got now. The good thing about this is non-branded.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So all of these, you know, this is position 10. So all the way up
there,
everything is virtually product. So it's not Jackson Handling front ranch wheelbarrow. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So SEO wise, but it's built in WordPress. So WordPress and WooCommerce, the SEO on that is extremely good.
Right. Okay.
Advertising.
Is this SEMrush easy to set up to?
SEMrush is a paid tool,
Right.
There is another one. This one is free, Neil Patel.
Right, okay.
You can sign up to them, and what that will do is they're simple. This basic analysis stuff. So this is doing traffic analyzers.
All right.
There's
okay.
some level of competitor there. It will do backlinks into your site. So all the typical SEO stuff. But we can go, I think you probably benefit from some either what should I be looking at, especially going into working with agencies. And we can probably do that.
Have you heard of Blink agency?
I think so. Blink, were they based in Humberside, are they?
Yeah, they are, yeah. I don't know if it's
I should be able to find them.
Blink agency, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
So these are the guys that are going to be sort of working with us and taking a lot of it away, because there's only 2 of us at Jackson Handling. There's myself, who's runs most of it, and then there's Ben, the director. And we operate on a drop ship sort of basis if we can, but we have had stock ourselves of, especially recently because we do PPE, it's just boomed.
Yes.
So we've had to have a stock in that we've been sending out. So I do a mix and match of everything, but I'm doing all the advertising and everything at the minute, and trying to do the best I can with the time I've got, because I do the sales. I was doing the accounts, but we've just appointed a bookkeeper. But having the time to sit and go through all this and take it in properly, I just don't get it. So
I think there's a level of, okay, what should you now? If from my perspective, so my background is I spent 12 years working for an agency for a government-funded project in the West Midlands.
Yeah.
Helping companies exploit digital technology, of which search and paid and all of this became my area of expertise.
Right.
So we were paid to sit in between you, the company, and the agencies.
Yeah.
Anything to do with technology implementation. So it could be specifications of systems, CRM, networks, the whole lot.
Okay.
And the key thing is the agency should be coming and saying, okay, what's your objective? Okay, so you want us to do paid advertising. What do you want us to? What's the objective of the paid advertising? Is it to sell?
We want more sales.
Is it for awareness? Okay, and then it should be okay. They should be identifying, well, what is selling, because the easy win for them is something that is got good profits for you.
Yeah.
It is making sales, but I just want to boost the visibility to get more sales. Yeah. So having somebody who's forward thinking as an agency and asking the right questions.
He is. He was quite good. He doesn't stand still when he's talking to you. He comes for a meeting and he gets up and he's around the office with his arms everywhere, and he's very keen.
Excellent. But yeah, then I'm sure there's something in there. So I'll make sure Sadia, somebody follows up in terms of digital catalyst.
Yeah.
Because
we used to use MailChimp, I see on there, but I come away from that because it was getting really expensive. We've got quite a decent mail shot list. I think we've got about 59,000 emails.
Yeah.
But now I use Sendinblue because it's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, and you're segmenting that email list, are you?
Yeah.
So you only send.
So they're all put into different categories. So we've got construction in one, we've got farmers, we've got haulage. All the different sort of customers we've got. So we bunch them up, and then we'll tailor what we're sending out just to that specific group.
Yeah. So there's definitely something there, because obviously you've got the other side of it, which is your analytics side.
Yeah.
Which is because I imagine your website, you've got quite a lot of traffic going through it. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not getting the conversions, and this is why. So, like, if you look at our website, I think we need to sort of sweeten it up a little bit, because we have a lot going on at the top. So, like, the first bit of the page that you can see.
Yeah, let me spell it right first.
Yeah, you see, it's all banner. So we have the menu, which is fairly easy to use across all the different sections. The annoying thing is, because the menu is expanded widthways, if you go onto either one of the end ones, you've got to sort of like stay within the yellow for it. So if you hovered on COVID-19 and tried to go down and across the menu, it loses it. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So we've got things like that to tweak, but I think for me, like, if you go onto a product,
I think that one is way too big.
Yeah, it's just not, because we've got so many products. You see, it's really difficult.
Yeah. And the SEO side of it would be a nightmare, because you got so many
to be fair, where it says web in brochure, if you go up, if you click on there, you could just do the online catalogue, and you could make your catalogue clickable, and it'd get rid of all that menu. Because if you hover on ratchet straps, if you hover on there, then it's a lot more simplified. So, like, 5-ton ratchet straps, if you click on that one.
Which one?
On 5-ton, yeah. That'll just take you through to one product, and then that's pretty simple. So you can select the length that you want, you can select your end fitting, and you can select your colour. A lot of other companies don't have anything like that. They just have a simple strap, and and that's what it is. So they can go through to that point. So if they're just wanting like 5-ton ratchet straps, then that's fine. They can click on it and it'll take it through. But then I'm not sure if it's like the process of purchasing, which is why we're not getting the conversions, or because the prices are about where they should be. The prices are right on those.
The one thing here, is that stands out to me more than this.
So you think the colour, because yellows, what did they say to me? Something about the colour yellow within a website is not.
It's just that still stands out more than this. So perhaps it's just getting lost.
So if we swap the add to basket to the blue and yellow, and then if they wanted a quote for, like, say, a higher volume, that's why that's there. So if they wanted to buy in bulk, if they wanted 500 of those or 100 of those, they can request a quote for that amount.
Yeah, so I'd probably break that out. I'd move it. I'd put that, and probably move that. If you want bulk, then call us.
Yeah, and just take the request a quote off.
Because it's going to be a standard checkout.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
We tried to make it as easy as possible with the least clicks, so that the customer isn't going through pages and pages.
So your analytics should be able to be configured to show exactly where they get and where they go out, because this is standard. This is a WooCommerce implementation. It should be quite straightforward somewhere.
To pull it out of there.
Okay. Well, I'll speak to Sadia.
Yeah.
And I can probably pick it up straight from Sadia to contact you to get you to kick something off.
Yeah, and I'll be able to have a look at what we need to do just to push it forward.
Yeah, and we can look at the analytics, and we can look at your ad stuff. Campaigns, obviously, your guy will come in and do it all and suggest things, but just so you go, okay, what is working, what isn't working.
I think I'd like that to be looked at as well, because it's Google that's been contacting us direct and saying, right, you need to put this in and you need to put that in, so we're doing it. But I'm saying I don't really want to spend any more money than what we're spending at the minute, because our spend's not massive, but we want it to be getting the conversions before we spend any more.
What is your current spend?
I think we've sort of been leveling around the £150 a month mark.
Okay.
Between 150 and 180. It has dropped down a bit because we made a few changes.
Yeah.
But looking at like the searches that we're getting and things like that, then based on, you know, I mean, one of them was 12,500 searches per month. I can't remember which one it was. I'm not sure if it was just ratchet straps. Okay. But that's obviously quite high now if we can utilise that and get that. But then obviously your pay-per-click's going to be a lot more, isn't it?
It is. You've got the whole thing of the quality score stuff starts to play then.
Yeah.
But that's down to your experience where you're putting them and then you're matching.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Yeah. I'll speak to Sadia because I think we'll get something going. All right.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, definitely. I've been able to see where I can, obviously, like when you go to Facebook and things like that, you can look at what other ads people are running, so you can check out what, say, like the competition are doing.
Yeah. You do much on Facebook?
Yeah, we do, but because we're more business to business, I think the Facebook sometimes it either works or it doesn't because it's more.
I think the Facebook stuff.
I'd say more our agricultural customers are on Facebook more. Yeah. Instagram, probably not, because I think Instagram's a younger generation. So I don't think so much the products that we've got would appeal to too many on Instagram.
I would agree.
And then Twitter, probably the same on Twitter. There's not many. I think our audience is probably, if you're ranging from mid-20s onwards, because your mid-20s, they're sort of like at entry level, maybe where they're buying products in, and then you've got, when you get into like haulage and things like that, you've probably got your transport planners maybe in the 30s, who are wanting to sort of get ratchet straps and bits and bobs, or like your warehouse managers or whatever. When they've got to that sort of level, when they're buying it in, they're probably, I don't know, late 20s upwards. So it's knowing our customer base at the minute is quite broad. It's more a male dominated industry, so we tend to target that more when we're picking them on Facebook. You know who we want our audience to be. So we're doing that already, but it's just, you know, trying to get a little bit more back from it. The key products that we've had over the last couple of months has all been PPE. And that's been really mixed as well, because the mixed variant on the PPE, especially when you advertise it on a social platform, it really alienates everybody because they see you as profiteering. Regardless of whether you've done it before, everybody's profiteering. But we let that run because the more people commented on it, the more we got seen. So the obviously the algorithm of that meant that we were getting seen more. And as much as it was a lot of negative, like we get it with a strap winder, we'll chuck the strap winder in a group, like a haulage group on Facebook, and people say, well, we're old school, it's just lazy, wrap it up yourself. Or then you've got the other end saying, oh, actually, it's a really good idea. It develops a massive debate, and then you get seen more. So that, you know, we do use that as well. But it's more like, I don't know, I think everybody tends to use your online tools and like your social media. It's like sometimes more of a negative forefront, isn't it, than a...
The social media takes a lot of its community building. So the electric strap winder there is on the far right. And that's got videos and stuff linked to it as well. So it's not, you know, it's I think if you scroll down a bit, you've got the videos of how it works. Then you've got a comparison video there as well of manually winding a strap and using the strap winder. Okay. I definitely think that's something we can help you with. Even more understanding and thinking about flow and layout. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No problem. See you.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.